for each one, and proportionately they have to fit with all the other neurotransmitters. And if they do, we tend to run extremely well. So we've got GABA that slows us down, serotonin that slows us down, norepinephrine, dopamine, and acetylcholine that raise us up, give us memory and concentration. And if all those neurotransmitters are doing well, we generally don't have a ton of an appetite for anything. If there's a problem in any of those neurotransmitters or in the proportionate part of the neurotransmitters, what will happen is people will become obsessed or irritable or distracted or anxious, or they're going to move towards addictions. Okay? So basically what the body is saying is, look, I don't feel good, I'd like to feel better, and since everyone does a bit of experimentation with alcohol and drugs, at least in their teens or early 20s, what happens is sometimes someone with low neurotransmitter takes a drug, either liquid like alcohol or tablet or powder form, and it acts like a key that turns in the lock and makes that person feel better. Well, the body likes that, and so it tends to keep coming back to the well, which is really understandable. People are smart, but the body is smart in a very limited short-term fashion. It doesn't think down the road. It doesn't make that kind of distinction until the cost becomes overwhelming. So what tends to occur is that people with certain psychiatric conditions like ADD will tend to feel better momentarily with either marijuana, hallucinogens, or most of the time speed, amphetamines, cocaine, nicotine, or caffeine. And what they do is they overuse those substances and they're self-medicating for that condition. And they don't tend to realize it. Well, for most of these conditions, whether it's bipolar or ADD, something like that, a psychiatric medication or a natural supplement, if you can tailor it perfectly for that person, will create the same and even better benefits with much less cost, both short-term and long-term. So when that happens, the body doesn't continue to crave more and more. You don't get the tolerance effect, whether it's either with a supplement or a psychotropic. And so the person does better, loses their desire for, let me say that more clearly, loses their chemical desire for another chemical. They still might have the learning that moves them forward. They still might have the habit. And if it's a primary addiction, they are still going to go for it from that position. So the way that I look at addiction is that it's very, very complex, very multifaceted. And what you want to do is you want to treat all the, well, let me back up. You want to make a really good social history. You want to evaluate the situation, and